Hello.
Hi.
I'm looking at what's it called? Your profile pictures, your shoe. Like, whose legs are these? Hello.
Mine.
Great.
They're mine.
Lovely. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Are we the only two in on the session?
Well, I'm assuming the rest will join as soon as possible.
Okay.
So it's not 8
Let
yet.
me hop
So
on the. Yeah, they're coming in.
yeah.
Hi, okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, what's up? How you doing?
Good, good,
See
good,
fine
good, good.
out.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Where is everyone? So I need Haya to please help me drop in the community that we're here, we've started, and we're waiting for everyone. Please drop a message.
All right.
Kyosho, I'm not sure I pronounced your name correctly. Forgive me in advance. If you can hear me, please drop a message in the community that we have started. It's about time. It's about time.
I was just thinking, why we wait for people to join? I'm quite curious about recruitment process is in Nigeria or Africa at the moment. Because that would be an interesting thing to know, what we're talking about this topic today. Because I don't know how it works now. And it will be an interesting insight if someone can share that later on, maybe sometime. Because
Yeah.
it would be great to kind of have all the insight, different opinions and how it's done, really. That
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah. We agree. Totally agree. Good. So let's say 9:05 on the dot, we can kick off just so more persons join the call.
All right, great.
Hi, Adana. How you doing? Hope you're good.
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Awesome. Awesome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Adana, please do me a favor, just so we alert other persons to join in. Could you drop a message to say, hey, we've started, come on in? Okay. This is so nice, of course. Okay, we're getting more people to join in. Hi, Ella Simbo. Hello, Nathaniel. Hope you're good.
Hi.
Hi, Josephine. Good evening.
Good
Hi,
evening.
Justin.
Hello, what's up?
I'm okay.
Hmm? Hope your day was good. Mine was stressful. I'm not even going to pretend that it was great. It wasn't, but at least we're here. Hi, Toby Loba. Ella Simbo. Look at your face. Guys, so I'll need us to drop a message in the community urging every other person to join in because we're about to start. And this session, I don't think anyone should miss this session because ah, hey, everybody's looking for a job. Like you could even have a job and you're still looking for something better, and you need to know how to navigate this crazy.
It's not just people
ecosystem.
that are still working. Sometimes it's good to look for a job to know what your value is. So
Exactly.
you just have to be out there, know what's going on, know whether you're underpriced or
Yeah.
undervalued and all those stuff. So
Right. Okay. So hi, Comfort. Please, if you're here, drop a message. Drop a message. Say, come on in. We have started, though, because this train is not waiting for anybody. We have started. Hi, Kush. Kush, I can't even see what's the name you. What's your email name here? Because I can see your message. Hi, Kush. Can you hear me? Having a hard time identifying your name on the call.
Sorry, I was talking
Oh,
unmuted.
okay, that's you. Okay. How you doing? How's the day?
So, my day was stressful, but
Is
thank
this
God.
shoe this shoe to rock Oblay on Friday? Oh? Please send it over.
This shoe, this shoe has been here since 2011. And
Fine.
I'm
Okay,
still
over
rocking it.
yeah, over to you. Okay.
yeah. Sorry, let me put this on what's it called? On full screen. Bear with me. Get there. Yeah. So, hello everybody. I will be multitasking today. Today is my turn for kids. So, um, I'll be putting my camera on and off, and I hope that's okay. And please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Yes, great. Thank you so much for joining. I think it's just going from what we were talking about earlier. When it comes to be honest, looking for jobs or finding out what's going on, sometimes the big one is always about okay, looking for jobs, trying to move, or haven't got any job and now you want to get something better. Sometimes it's also good to just interview and just see what is out there. And most importantly, like I said earlier, it's really great to know what your worth is, because if you don't know what that worth is, you won't know when you even be passed by in within the organization that you are in. So um to continue with this session today, my name is Oge Okafor, and I don't know how to make this introduction again, but I have been quite fortunate to be able to interview with great companies in the last 1 year. And I come from diverse background, but most especially the background I've spent most time on is media, in terms of TV content marketing, and now I'm currently doing IT delivery, software development life cycles, everything within that package. I'm also a project manager at the moment, but I started as a scrum master, so I've worked in diverse industries. So what I started doing last year was I was just gathering some sort of insights across posts, across LinkedIn, across some sessions I've joined from everywhere else. I really wanted to understand what is this job market really is about. We understand that with the advent of AI, it kind of looks like you just throw in, optimize this CV to match this job description. We know that that ship has sailed. And I also found out that you have to really be intentional about the way you want to position yourself. So that's what the whole essence of this session is tonight. And it's not to it's just for us to kind of be a lot more open to what is happening in the job market. If I want to toot my horn a little bit, every month I get an interview. Sometimes I reject the interviews, not because I am the best, but it's just the formula that has worked for me over time. Now I'm speaking from someone that lives in the UK, because I know some people may be living in other parts of, other regions. So it could also apply differently to, to other people. So to get into it, where is this stuff? Yeah. So like I talked about earlier, there are so many job sites. And one thing about, navigating job markets in the UK, I have to speak about UK specifically because that's where I live, is that there are just so many things to look out for. There isn't any cut through process. You just have to be strategic about the way you do it. I hope this is my second slide. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to start with job sites. Everybody has different job sites that they what's the word, that they love to use. If you are targeting governments, companies, there are civil service roles, there's NHS, there's also LinkedIn that carries, that warehouses some of this. So you click the hyperlink and it takes you to company websites. There's Indeed, there is Glassdoor, there are just so many. This slide is not to exhaust all of them. There are so many that I didn't even put it, but it's just to give us an idea that each site has the role that they are playing, and you have to know how to position yourself for each of those slides. So before you start applying, so this one kind of applies to, there are some job descriptions that you read it through. I actually was going through someone's comments, a recruiter on, I think it was on LinkedIn, and she said that the most sad part of, candidates saying they are not landing interviews or they're not getting roles is that candidates just stop at job description. And what that means is that other information that are, further down, they don't get to look at them. And that there are sometimes in that job description, they have gone further down to say, contact the hiring manager, for blah, blah, blah. But nobody does that. So, and I was like, because that's also their own metrics of trying to gauge the type of candidate that are clicking on those sites, and all those stuff. So for government roles, NHS always have the hiring manager or recruitment manager that is on the job post. I know civil service also has it as well. Sometimes it could be a generic hiring email address. But sometimes I attended a session, I think it was during December, and I heard that they say for NHS, so there is a template where each department or each hiring manager. Yes, I know, we're going to get there. Yes, you're right. So they have a template where, if this team is looking for maybe Scrum Master, for example. So the NHS has a template. So you put in those things, but however, I think they have some what's the word? Some mandatory requirements they need to put just to fill up that before they can, as in click on that job post for it to go live. So they said some of those things are not really necessarily important to that job description, but they just have to do it because the business has said this is the process that you have to take. And that is why they always encourage candidates to reach out. I'm talking specifically now for NHS because the person that's talked about this actually works within the NHS and is a hiring manager. So that is something that you need to have at the back of your mind when you're trying to reach out. But you have to really be very strategic about it and make sure that you've read the job description. You need to read it first. So that when you're contacting the hiring manager, you said, I've read this, job description. I just want to find out more about the day-to-day. Again, we all use AI, so we can, fine tune what we want to ask them. Some you can say, if you can respond to this email, you can ask for a quick Teams call or a phone call. I actually have a call booked in tomorrow for a role that I saw at a university here in the UK. So yes, you're right. Sometimes they don't respond to you. I'm a bit cringy when it comes to LinkedIn. I'm sorry. because LinkedIn, everybody LinkedIn is, you know, doing some sort of packaging or something. I don't know. But I just kind of, close my eyes and shoot my shot within that LinkedIn and say, if they reach out to me, fine. But I just feel like, for an email, they get that in their inbox. It's either, like you said, they will just ghost you, or they'll just be obliged to say, you know what, let me just find out what's going on. I applied for a job here. Please, my only job is not to apply for jobs, but I just like I like the fun of it now. So I like the fun of it now. So I reached out to a hiring manager, and he said, "Oh, great, that is really fine. Please set up the Teams link for us to have the 15-minute call." So, the I think we should look at it as a reverse psychology thing. You just use that opportunity to get insight, just in case if you get invited for interviews. So from what they have discussed, you've noted down things that they're actually looking for, and that will help you when you're going, when you finally scale towards, scale to the interview stage. So it's really important. If they ghost you, well, is their loss, to be honest, because that is actually very important for someone to do. It just helps you get better clarity. Most of these job descriptions, to be honest, they are wish lists. I know that myself and every other person here, or some people, have seen some job descriptions. You see that they use ChatGPT to generate it, or one AI language to generate it. The things that they look out for in our CVs, they also use that. So you're like, okay, so who is saying the truth here? So that's why I feel like it's really important for us to, if you can, try to reach out. If you get any feedback, great. If you don't, that's all right. But just have to make sure they're very strategic about it. So ATS landscape, everybody understands. Well, everybody knows about ATS. I don't know. Maybe by the time I'm done with my slides, I'll see if I can type in and show you guys how it works. So this is the sieve before the sieve, before it gets to the hiring manager. And ATS, within the UK here, they have some buzzwords that they look out for, and the things that they are going to use to screen out candidates before it even gets to the hiring manager. So you submit your application, and then from that first submission, it will see before it gets to any human review, and then just like that. So that's how it goes. You can look at this slide from backwards or front, but you have to make sure that you pay attention to the ATS software that every company within the UK use an ATS, even NHS, which is the track, for example, that they use. A civil service use that SIMREG. I can't remember the name, but they all have different ones. So that leads me to the next slide, because understanding how ATS work, it transforms your approach from just guessing to strategy. So you have to make sure that you tailor the keywords. And when I say tailoring the keywords, again, it's not really what is going on. Bear with me. Let me share again. This is okay. I guess there's a delay on this slide moving up and down, but apologies about that. My cursor is not even moving again. But, let me do that again. What can you see now? This is not the slide I want to show now. Hold on. But yeah, so The next slide is talking about, can everyone see this slide first of all? The one that talks about Boolean keywords. Okay, great. So again, I attended a session. Me, I'm a lifelong learner. Anywhere I hear something that will be of benefit to me, I always try to, great, thank you to Lola. I try to find out what's going on. As long as it's free, I'll attend and take notes. So I found out from a recruiter that there's something they call Boolean keyword search. Now, if a hiring manager is, or even a recruiter is trying to post a job, they go to their software. So that's where you see, if it's for a project manager role, for example, they type in project manager and NHS. That is probably within the NHS or something. Or so these are the prompts they will put in. It's either going to come like and, or it's going to come like not. So not means what they don't want to see within that CV. So or it means like, senior manager or this. So it just goes like that. So when it comes to skills too, they could call it, quotes. They always usually use inverted commas to differentiate this, so that the ATS language will be able to find out what they're looking for. That is what will pick your CV or my CV when they are doing the screening. So they use this Boolean keyword search, and great. And it's good to know that AI also understands this as well. So when you're telling him when you're telling AI to say, optimize this keyword, first of all, you say, what is the ATM? Oh my God. Looking for money. What is the ATS keyword this company is using? When it identifies it, you tell it, use their Boolean keyword search for this role to kind of narrow down what they are looking for, what they have listed on that job. Because it's great, again, to say optimize. It's not going to do the deep dive search for you. So this is a new word that you need to be including into your search, or when you're working on a new job application. Boolean keyword search. It just helps you to find your edge, because that is the language that the hiring managers use. I don't know why my slide is not moving. Oh dear. Let me go back. Okay, try again. So while I try to get the screen back up, I mean, we have to really be, because there are sometimes you will see certain roles and you're like, I can do this job now. And then sometimes after a day or so, you get, unfortunately, and then you're wondering, how maybe I just applied for this job. What is going on? Why are they just rejecting me immediately? It is because of that ATS and also this Boolean. As long as your CV doesn't have these keywords that they're searching for, you're going to automatically be not to be chosen for the role. Can you guys see my screen? I had to remove it from okay, I have to remove it from full screen mode. I don't know what's going on. Great. So personal filter, personal identifiers. This is great. I think Josephine is aware. In 2024, I only landed one job interview. The whole of 2024. And I got that role anyway, but that's another story. When you want to just kind of be great, you put in everything, making sure that, you fill up the boxes. It's really important to fill them up, but obviously we know about unconscious bias. It is real, especially when you live in abroad. Sometimes people will just reject you because they can't pronounce something, or there are just so many things that they can just use to reject you, and you're like, how did he get there? And I heard of somebody that, so my full name is Ogechi, right? But in my CV I have it as Oge. Now I don't have any anything personal for people that want to completely use their English name or middle name, that is great. But I just like my native name. So I like to use something that is easier for them to pronounce. That is if you are attaching your entire CV. But unlike, government, jobs, it is you don't need to put any personal identifier, so which is great. But if you're applying to most organizations and private ones, they're likely going to see your full name and your CVs and and everything. So we know about the home address that is that is given. I know that in Nigeria too, when you're applying for jobs, they want to see your home address. They want to kind of even understand whether you're married or not. Some Nigerian CVs, they accept what's it called, some pictures as well. So it depends, but again, specifically for here in the UK, those things are not needed. You have to make sure that you so you have to make sure that you remove all those things that will just start working against you. And in those boxes too, if you find any what's it called, any question they ask, and if there is an option to prefer not to say, please choose prefer not to say, except if it's marked asterisks when it's a compulsory question. But if it's not a compulsory question, please just put prefer not to say. I've also seen some job application forms that they'll ask you for your place of origin, right? One day I'm like, why should I put Nigeria? It's not like I don't love my country, but I was just scrolling and I saw prefer not to say. I just picked it up immediately and I clicked on that and I moved on, right? So you want to be able to play in a level playing field within everybody that is applying for the job and even within the company, so that nothing would count you out, so to speak. So from what I was talking about before, please make sure you read the page carefully, understand what the job requires. Again, AI is our friend. What I do, my personal thing I do is I'll tell AI, said, read in between the line and explain this job description, what exactly they want this person to do. That way it will help me to be like, oh, okay, so this is what they're talking about. If I see any term or any abbreviation I don't understand, I quickly go to Google. I say, what does this mean? So that when I'm putting it on my my top skills, I'll put the full meaning there, so that they will see that, okay, I understand what they're trying to tell me. Or I'll write it into my work experience so that they will see that I understand what it means. As a matter of fact, I learned something 2 weeks ago. I learned about legacy data sets. I used to see that, but I was like, what was it? So I just started seeing 2 weeks ago, and I realized that legacy data set means a company that is using like an old software, for example, that already has data sets. So it's called the legacy. So when you're trying to update that data set, I think it's called green something. I can't remember. If there's anyone in IT here, please help me clarify that. I was like, oh, so I used to see this. I was like, I didn't even know that was what it meant, So I don't just take anything that my AI gives to me. I interrogate it and make sure that I'm comfortable with it, because I also see when it comes to writing the CV, that's another session. But you have to be combative when in terms of what you're telling your AI to do for you. I used to use ChatGPT. By the way, all the roles I got it through ChatGPT, but I know that Claude, Josephine, I know that Claude too is on another level.
Go.
Look, Claude is like the other woman, pardon me, no pun intended. He will tell you, hey, so how do you want to do this? Let's get this job going. That's how Claude is. So I use stuff for when I want to do interviews. Claude would give me that. In fact, it will position by the time I'm finished with Claude in my interview present, like, yes, it's true, Ola. Claude, I don't know. I used to use it for just some research. I wasn't really using it for job applications, but I'm beginning to love Claude. Maybe I'll have to move my my subscription to Claude, but who knows? So yeah, it's really great. Make sure that if you have options of not applicable, you can type it in there. Again, it depends on the. You need to get Claude, and Josephine. Josephine can take you on how to use Claude too, because I had issue initially with the interface of Claude and how it, but I'm beginning to get used to it because Claude means business, right? So yeah, that is it for this slide. So using AI to set the tone first, like I said, feed the AI the organization language. And again, it's I just don't want to that give away a lot here, but I just want us to get it, if that makes sense. When you tell an AI to like speak in that industry language, it helps you to find how they interpret some of these things, just like what I was talking about, the legacy data sets, for example. And I've been doing it. I didn't even know that that's what it's called. So you have to tell AI to help you interpret the organization's language, and also tell it to keep my CV to mine. Don't go and change everything. And then when I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is this? Right? Because AI can overdo themselves sometimes. They will just keep going. Make sure you put in that prompt. You want the CV to be original, but you want it to be tailored to this role that you are applying for. Because if you don't do it that way, you will not be able to, what's it called? To defend what you have put up. If, for example, you're called for an interview. What am I doing? I don't know what I clicked on. Oh. Please, what can you guys see? I'm not sure what I clicked on.
So we can see the slide that says using AI sets the tone first.
Okay, is there anything covering the slide?
No. So I think we're in slide 8. Maybe you want to scroll to slide 9.
Okay. Oh dear. See, again, don't know why. What is going on? I'll go again. Apologies. Right.
Story musical, The Wolf and the Seven Little Goats. Shall we start? Once upon a time, there lived
9. Yeah. So can you guys see 9 now? Which is crafted
Yes.
professional. So yeah, okay, great. So professional summary. Honestly, I don't know. When I told Josephine about this topic, I'm like, look, these hiring managers sometimes they feel like they're very smart, but they are doing what they're supposed to do. I've also understood that professional summary, to be honest, is the summary of your career. It is the summary of your career. You don't need to make it 8-line sentence or 10-line sentence. By that time, your CV is already going into 4 pages. So what has worked for me is it could be different depending on your field or where you're trying to transition into or the role that you're applying for. Keep it concise to at least 3 to 4-line sentences, or you can make it 5. But you have to be able to look for ways to quantify what you're trying to, the story you're trying to tell with your CV. When it becomes too much, these recruiters, we've all heard as well that they spend only 3 to 5 seconds, less than 10 seconds on each CV. So you can imagine the meaty stuff, you put it towards the 9th line sentence. They won't even, get to your CV eventually. They'll just scan through, again, having in mind that Boolean key, so that, okay, it's not there. They'll just drop it. Tomorrow you see, unfortunately. So keeping it short and sweet is great. Keep it to 3 to 4 lines, and if it's going to be too long, to be honest, because you still have your work experiences to now fully explain what you have done in your career. And where necessary, put metrics, successfully led teams that were underperforming from 40% to 80% or something like that. So they were like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. So you could start by saying, based on the following. Of course, you by this time, I'm assuming that the AI already has your job, your CV, and then you've already pasted the job description. I go as far as pasting the entire thing about that role, not just the job description. I paste everything that starts from who we are or whatever. It gives you an idea of what the company do and how you'll be able to position yourself within that application. So use their preferred language, summarize your career trajectory. I like to have key achievements. So the template that I usually use is your professionals, okay, your name, and then under your name, you have that role. If they have said delivery manager, please put delivery manager, then maybe anything else, any other hyphen of what they're talking about in that role. Please do not put a project manager as a title when they're asking for a delivery manager. They don't have that time to start to say, okay, this person is actually doing that. Or like if they say they're looking for a scrum master that has 2 to 3 years experience and you have 15 years, please just put scrum master. You don't need to complicate things for yourself. I know sometimes I've had situations. In fact, a lot of the times I had to keep shortening. Every year I shorten my years of experience so that it will fit into the years of experience that they're looking for. It's true, because these people are you're playing with sharks, right? And these people, they could have 200 or 300 applications in a day. How are they supposed to go through everyone's own at the same time? So yes, that is really key. Just again, be very, very, be very strategic. So a strong summary, it should position you as a leader. Again, depends on the level that you're applying to. So that is something that you should have in mind. 35. Oh, time has gone. So you have to write for impact. You have to write for strategy. You have to write, leadership-led languages. So frame your work in the context of organization's goals. Show that you understand the bigger picture. Quantify your impacts. Another thing I also talk about, I'll tell ChatGPT I said, write it in such a way that I will showcase, like in this work experience, I will showcase what changed due to what I did. Maybe they have like a manual system of doing things, and then you came in, brought in your agile approach, and this improved work efficiency by X%. Some people also use the XYZ method as well. That one is also great. But you have to show what actually changed, because these hiring managers, they do go through it. Once they finally pass through that 3 to 5 seconds, if they start scanning, that's what they look out for. So you have to really showcase what what change you have been able to lead within your work experience, or the impact that your work had. The impact that your work had as well. So it's really great to pay attention to those things. So for work experiences, match the title. Your most recent current work experience, make it the work experience make it the title of the role that they're advertising for. No matter what you're doing currently, if they say they're looking for a business analyst, for example, make that your current job, business analyst. But then you cannot put a hyphen and say maybe change, maybe ways of working or something, right? But again, if you are new to tech and you're transitioning, I also know that there's nobody that said that they've not. There's nobody that will say they've not done some sort of project management. It's just about what you tell ChatGPT to do for you and your CV. But you have to make sure that they don't want to start preempting to say, oh, okay, this person is coming from this. I think they will have the experience we are looking for. So you have to make sure that your job title match what they are looking for, especially the first 2 roles, the first 2 work experiences. Keep it concise. Once you start rambling away, again, not everything that your AI gives to you that you're going to take. Make sure that you have gone through it. Some people will say apply for 30 jobs a week. Ah, I don't know how people do that. I do not encourage it personally. It's best you stick to the industry that you love. You stick to industry that you love. Sometimes even if is within the same industry and similar roles, just pasting that your job description, your CV that you worked on earlier for another role. Just tell ChatGPT to put side by side what you need to include, to be able to meet the criteria of the new job you're trying to. So it doesn't mean that you have to really do everything, but you have to touch it. You have to touch your CV for every role, please. Don't use one CV to apply for 30 roles. And another thing is, please do not use that LinkedIn easy apply. I think it's a scam. I'm sorry. LinkedIn easy apply. Don't fall for that trap. If you're doing it, please stop it. It doesn't help your head count in terms of, oh, I want to apply for 30 jobs in a day or in a week. That thing, I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually. I've also noticed that some of those easy apply rules, job posts that they do, is probably jobs that are older. So once you take the name of the company in LinkedIn from that list, easy apply, go to your website browser and type in that company and that role they're advertising for. Sometimes it's best for you to apply from there rather than clicking on easy apply. Please do not use easy apply. You don't get anything. If anyone has got anything from easy apply, please let me know. There's something they also call strong action verbs. Strong action verbs is you say delivered XSSSS or implemented this, rather than saying managed or coordinated. Well, it depends, but I hope you guys get the gist of where I'm trying to go. So you have to make sure. Harvard has this list of strong action verbs you can use to optimize your CV for it to to make sense, right? Because they always, when people say, honestly, there's no role like a junior role. Me, I'm not going to lie. I applied for one job in a council here, and they said it's a junior project manager role. And the question they were asking me in that interview, I'm like, and you guys said this job is a junior project manager role. Like, how is that possible? So action verbs will help you use the right introductory word to boost your CV, right? So any volunteering that you have done, please include it. It's always very important, so that they will see what else you do apart from your from your day-to-day. Keep it concise, short and sweet. I don't know if you have CVs that are 3 pages. Well, except if you are applying for directorial or higher executive level roles, then you can have more than 2. But the sweet spot is usually 2-page CVs. 2-page CVs is the sweet spot rather. If it's more than that, well, I don't know. Again, there could be some sites too that recruiters would personally reach out to you to say, if you're interested or stuff like that. So yeah, maybe in those cases. But usually when you're working with a blind application, which is ATS and all these things, well, anything that rocks your boat, but make sure that the meaty stuff are within the first 2 pages. If it passes the first 2 pages, I saw someone that had applied for a job where I was working before. The experience that the job was looking for was experience that they've had 5 years ago. So what they did was that they brought it forward as a first work experience and then explained that, let's say, I can't remember what that, then I was a digital marketing manager. So what they did after the key achievement is that they now put that role, maybe, let me just assume it was a digital marketing. They said best fits or something. I can't remember how they wrote it that time. And then they now went in after that work experience to talk about their subsequent experiences. Whatever else, I feel that is too much. It's a lot of headache. I don't want to use that that frame of mind for applications. I just feel like it's going to be a lot for me. I think another thing I need to add here is that I wanted to show, CV templates, but I wanted to run that through, Josephine first. And, if she's fine with that, we can find a way to share it with the group, and all those stuff, because again, it's also something I've done for a very long time. So I understand it. And, there we will talk about the type of fonts to use and the type of the number of fonts to use. Like, I love to use 11. Some people use 12. If you remember, the more bigger the fonts are, the more your CV will tend to get into more pages. So you have to be very, very mindful of that as well. So your application plan, really, you have to contact the hiring manager, except if it's not listed anywhere. By all means, you don't need to stress yourself. I've done cold calls on LinkedIn. Those LinkedIn people, it's a story for another day. So, research the ATS that the company is using. That will help you a great deal. And don't just stop there. Find the Boolean keyword search the hiring manager is typing in to use to sieve CVs. Make sure that you have those keywords. In fact, let it start reflecting from your skills and capabilities, your key achievements. So by the time they get to your work experience, they're like, okay, yeah, this person knows what they're talking about. Again, with the other time I had session, we talked about certifications. 5 certifications that are relevant to the role. I will show you once. I think this is my last slide. So I'll show you how to find this thing. So if I see that this role does not I don't have the certification they're looking for, I go to Udemy and I find something similar to that certification, and then I put it on my CV and say in view. That's what I do. So it just kind of, in my mind, at least they will use it to see that, okay, this person is trying to work towards this. But most of the meaty part of your CV, should not be, disregarded just because you don't have that one singular certification. The application I said I will not do is, you see, construction project manager. I won't be able to do it. It's too much. It's too much. I started one course because of construction project manager, and then it was leading me to where I don't know. Type of building sites. Look, if you have the strength for it, by all means, it's a niche industry of, if you want to transition, but it's draining. It's a lot. And you have to remember governance, make sure risk your story for another day. But I'm going to be ending my presentation here. The whole essence is for us to just shine our eyes. A lot is going on, applying for jobs. Again, it doesn't mean that every role you apply for, you get it. That's not what I'm saying. But we also know that some job posts are a bit, it's a bit slacky, so you can get lucky, right? Because for them to see your CV, the next thing, and they like what they are seeing, the next thing they want to do is invite you for an interview. That's also going to be another session altogether. And then that's when you have to defend what you have written on your CV. So that's why it's really important. While you're telling your AI what to do for you, tell it to keep your CV original. Find similar word that sounds like what these people are looking for, what they are doing. So when you go into that job interview, because sometimes I've also heard that most interviews, sometimes they print out your CV or they're opening your CV, they're looking at it on one screen and they're asking you question on another screen. You don't want to prepare for, using entirely new examples when they're looking at your CV. I'm not saying that all your examples should be your CV based work experiences. Yeah, so you just have to make sure that, please save it. Every job you apply for, save it. I know this is not even a story. It's not news anymore. save every role you have applied for. What I normally do is that some roles come up, I apply. If it's a company that I really really like, every time the role comes out, even if it's 3 months after, I apply for it again. But I go back to the one I applied with 3 months prior and check, probably what didn't work on that CV. And then I'll go back to my AI. I say, look, we have another job to do. But I'm going to be stopping my presentation here tonight because I know we have just an hour so that we can take some questions. So that's where it is for me. Thank you, guys.
Oh, okay. When I say you're a darling now, you say I'm hyping you. Just you have sweet smile.
Oh, dear.
I know a lot of people can't see my face this evening, guys. You know there are days where you don't have the
See,
power.
I had to go and put myself together because I'm like, look, it's night. How can I look presentable this night? Let's just go. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oge. I know a lot of people are, yearning to ask questions. So everything Oge has said is on point. Personally, I don't know everything. And each time I look at areas that, I feel like this is not your core, I give it to those who they are experts in this thing. They've done it. They've been successful in it, and it's been great. So Oge is one person that this is her core. This is where she shines very well. And of course, I'm hoping that she can oblige us and make it a series in this community if you guys encourage us to go ahead. So one thing I just want to add to every beautiful thing she said this evening is, it may look very minute, but I think it worked for me as well. Have one particular email that you use, apply.
Yeah.
Right, it doesn't make, it's minute. Let me say it doesn't make sense, but it's just small. But it's something that it helps you track all the job applications. And it's also a bragging right that, I've applied for over 1,000 jobs. It was the 1,001 I got something. So yes. So okay, over to you. Okay, I think there's a question in the comment section. So you have
please, can you help me read it out, please? That would be great.
So Olurotimi is asking, how do you search for the company's ATS?
Okay, yes. I was trying to see if I can show something on it. You see, Workday. Hey, Jesus. Workday is an ATS. I don't like Workday, but let me show you guys what's let me see. So this is a role at Barclays. I just clicked. It was a role I saw on LinkedIn. I just clicked on. I said apply, and it brought me here. That was just the only thing I did. But you see in between, can you guys see my course? My okay. If you read on the browser, you will see Barclays.wd3.my Workday jobs. You see this Workday, that's what they use. Workday is their ATS. So Workday will make you keep registering and re-registering. A lot of big private organizations. What?
Let me just say I hate this Workday. Like every single time
it gives me stress. I don't like it. I don't like Workday. It keeps asking you questions, even if you've applied to maybe 50 roles and those 50 roles use Workday. Any other company you're applying to that use Workday, you will start registration again. It's just no worries at all. So there's another one they call green. Let me see if I can find another one.
I think I know greenhouse something.
Yes, greenhouse. So greenhouse is easier. They would say put everything on one page. Cha. You put, and then that's that. I think I also have to also emphasize that if you have done jobs over the years, it's great to have a work portfolio or career portfolio. That is great. Some ATS, when you finish when you attach your CV, they will either ask you if you have any portfolio to attach or your website. attach that one there too. It also helps. So if you have that, there are so many free, thousands of free templates on Canva. Even Gamma self has, work portfolio, templates that you can use. So just make sure if you have anything to put, but I haven't, I had one of, I think 2024, but for some reason, I just didn't get to use it that much. But it's all because if you have to keep updating it within every role that you go to. So that's what you have to be mindful of. But you have to also make sure you don't include a work portfolio of maybe when you're a teacher. Well, that's a bad example, but you get what I'm trying to say. It has to be relevant to that role that you're applying for. I'm trying to see if I can find another. We all know about the NHS ATA, which is the track. The good thing about NHS one is that it's blind, so it's only when this thing has done its work that the hiring manager will now. Sometimes they say that they actually check all those CVs that people apply with, which is great. Universities as well. They have. Okay, question 2. I see online these days AI certification. If one doesn't have this certification, it's already a no. No, it's not a no. I talked about it earlier. I said, even if you don't have it, for example, find a course that is like a sister and brother to what they're actually asking for and put it as ongoing or in view. There are some NHS roles I've applied for. They're asking for certain, governance certification. I put it ongoing. So it doesn't matter, except if it's an industry that really interests you. You may eventually have to do it. But if you get into the organization, they will still train you anyways, or even pay for trainings for you. So you don't have to, it's not a deal breaker at all. Let me see if I can. Another one of so yeah, they have different I'm trying to see the ones that already have their login, so we don't have to start all over again. Yeah, so if there are other questions or something while I
Hi everyone. Please feel free to unmute and ask your questions, right? It's not right or wrong question, and we're just all here to learn.
Yes, please. Hello.
Yes, Deborah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I know.
question above is pending. Which one is pending? Oh, Nafisa. Can you type it again, or if you can bring it back up, that would be great. Okay. And I think I see it's really wide open enough for all interested to apply. I asked because for some reason I feel the space is saturated. Okay, Nafisa, is that the question you're talking about? Okay. So I also said earlier that it doesn't mean that it's a cast in stone, right? It doesn't mean it's saturated. No. See, rejections are great. I used to handle rejections like my life has ended. I got a role I really, 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 really loved in 2024. I spoke to Joe. In fact, Josephine helped me prep for this role. And then they gave me the employment letter. All of a sudden, something came up and that didn't work again. But that's heartbreak, eh? It took me a while to get out of it, right? But it doesn't mean it's saturated. That's what I'm trying to say. Because what is the best way to put it? You won't know until you try it. You will see an application or a role that's opened up on LinkedIn, and they say, by the way, I forgot to talk about Glassdoor, some of the job sites. I like to use Glassdoor a lot. Glassdoor will tell you about the company and and what's it called? And what's it called again? And the feedback that the company gets from applicants and people they've done businesses with. It will help you find a similar role that they have interviewed someone from, and you use that to kind of prep yourself. So you will never know until you try. That's just what I'm trying to say. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That unfortunately, but there are so many other roles too. To be honest, I went for an interview last 2 weeks. You know what I did? It's for within my. You're welcome. Is within my local council. Immediately I started, and I saw on Glassdoor that they said that they are going to ask you, what do you know about us, or what do you know about this company? And then I said, because they are building a bus reform for the entire combined authority. And then I said, well, I'm one of the 1.7 million people that are going to be using this bus, and I already know the issues that we are having currently. I've never used the bus service before. So all you need is to get that foot into the door, right? Once you get that foot into the door, it means you're lucky. Some people also applied with you at that time and they weren't called. I know that heartbreaks are rejections are a bit hard, but you have to keep trying. Even the interviews I've got, sometimes in a month I know how many that I apply for, and then I get maybe 1 or 2 interviews. Again, it is the more you apply, the more you build confidence, and then the more you know what you're supposed to put and what you're supposed to remove, if that makes sense. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is it for me, guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Joy, are you aware that your video is on? Your video camera, sorry, your camera is on. Video is on. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Oge. I'm so happy. But Oge, I want to beg you on behalf of the community. Let's have this date again, please. I beg you. Let's do this again.
Okay. I think you need to help me with, let's do like a poll, the way you do it, so that I will understand what exactly the pain points are, and then I'll be able to collate my thoughts, and then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put out an Excel sheet in the community for each pod, and everybody's going to fill in what they think their pain point is. So from there, we can actually teach or mentor what people really, really want, not what we think they want. All right, guys. See you all, and have a lovely evening. Bye for now.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you for attending today, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, guys.